Hello and welcome back to Spyro 2. Ripto's Rage. So yeah, things have changed. We can now climb. Which means we really quickly have to knock out the third level, Sunny, not the third level, but the last thing we have in this world, Sunny Beach. Because we kind of do. Yeah. This is gonna be really fun. Okay, head into position, please. So we have the talisman, we just need the orbs. So what I need to do is I need to go through the level really quickly collecting the mist gems. There's a climbable spot up here. How many gems do we have? We need 20 more. So I know there are some here. And there's, yeah. Okay. We can basically avoid all of this, I believe. Ow. But yeah, there's no real point in playing through this again. Hello. Anyways, yeah, I mentioned some relative Gen Z-ish stuff last time, specifically about, like, I think I should probably just reiterate on, like, the concept of, like, you know, respect for the medium.
Turtle friends happen to make a very good soup.
Soup if I can catch them. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to something painful. You gotta... keep punching them. Don't touch the soup, please.
So, you see...
A few turtles. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to capture all of them now. That's gonna be a problem. Get the turtles out of the cauldron, okay. For fuck's sake. Why are these controls so hard? I don't know how to describe them. The controls are just difficult, okay? I think it's the camera angle, honestly. Where's the other one? What one's over there? No, you don't! Fuck's sake, I missed him! He's gonna walk in now. Watch, yeah. No, it happened again. What a start to the video, huh? So that's one. Two has to be... No, oh my god! No! What? This is so frustrating. I don't know how to even explain it. The controls are just... This camera makes it impossible to, like, properly aim. Oh my god. Fuck's sake. No! Okay. No, I'm gonna fuck it up here. I kept hitting the fucking pot. Because the fucking camera is like, oh yeah, I am not going to actually, you know... Yeah, look at that. I don't care. Let's try again. The fucking... Oh my god, man. Okay. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Okay. We got him. Oh god. Now there's... No, you don't. Fuck off. Oh my god! Why? How do you stop them? This is impossible. Like, this is the actual, like, fun killer for me, you know? In this game. You have, if you want to do 100%, you have to do all of the stupid fucking mini-games. They don't add anything. They're just difficult for the sake of it. There's no point. There's no point in doing this. There's absolutely no fucking point. Oh my god, come... I don't care anymore. I don't want my time to be wasted. I guess that's the thing, right? It's different if you're continuously making at least, like, small amounts of progress, which is why it's fun to just collect the fucking gems, but not if I have to repeat the same exact menial fucking task for 30 years. All because I just can't... I don't care. I don't have the fucking patience to waste my time in a Spyro game stopping turtles from jumping into a soup. Fucking, yeah. Just the fact it's so difficult to control, it doesn't sound hard on the surface. Until you have to actually push the turtles away. And then you realize, oh yeah, when I hit the run button, it's not precise enough. Okay, there we go. Finally, yeah. I despise save stating, but like... I refuse to have my time wasted like that, okay? I just don't want to. It is, like, a really... It's just... I don't know, it's frustrating, it's bullshit, and I don't want to have my time wasted. It's just the way I see it, you know? You can have your complaints. By the way, I just realized, can I actually... No. We can just exit the level normally. Okay, let's go out and use that portal that takes us back. Anyways, yeah. I don't know why, but when playing PS1 games specifically, I always just kind of think about, like, stuff with, like, the sort of industry in general, man. Because it's just... like, the thing is, you know, people often meme about, like, nostalgia, right? But there's a specific sort of thing, and it's kind of like, you know, with modern games, it's like, a new game comes out, okay. You kind of know what you're getting, and I think that's the big difference. Back in the day, you didn't know. what kind of game you were getting. You would just get a video game, and it was fun. But it wasn't, like, you know, the same. It was just different. And, that's kind of the issue. With, like, a lot of stuff I've seen today. It's, the games today are, generally speaking, you know, chances are, if you buy a middle-of-the-road game today, it's gonna be a lot better than how it was back then. But I feel like in a lot of ways, that kind of makes, everything else... I don't know how to really describe it. It's like, you know, gaming now is definitely better than it was back then in terms of the games you have access to. It's just a lot harder for stuff to stand out.
Has it that there is a portal to Zephyr.
For the more... Yeah, for a small fee. Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's... What do you want?
Done, Spyro.
Yeah. Okay. It's that kind of thing where I feel like so often you're gonna run into problems with, when you're talking about retro stuff. Because you shouldn't, like, just let nostalgia, you know, guide your gaming opinions. That kind of sucks. That's kind of stupid. But again, you also shouldn't just, like, let all of your opinions be like, you know, new thing is better because the graphics, you know. You know, there has to be a sort of middle ground where people aren't gonna be, you know, because you run into a situation where it's kind of like the overcompensation thing, you know. You have, first of all, like, it often starts with, like, the idea that either, you know, it either starts because someone is like, oh yeah, these old video games look so simple and, you know, primitive, low fidelity. How did anybody back in the day play this? You know, it starts like that, and then somebody's like, oh well, they were fun. You know, and then the argument's like, oh yeah, but are they fun? Are they more fun than the current new stuff? And then it's like, you know, and then it's an argument of like, oh, new thing is bad because, you know, the old thing was the old thing. Or alternatively, and this is the much rarer thing, surprisingly, where, like, the new thing is, like, it's kind of weird to describe, because the truth is, and this is the honest truth, in my opinion, like, new thing good, old thing bad, and vice versa, are kind of both falling into the same sort of pitfall of, both the new and the old thing being good.
Hello.
Just having trouble with the door. I need 8 orbs to open the door. Aha, okay. But yeah, generally speaking, that's kind of the problem I've run into with a lot of the discussions. There's no nuance. It's either every single new thing that comes out is bad because, like, rage bait YouTubers are, like, trying to convince you it's bad. Hello, what do you want?
Hi, Spyro. Ripto and Gulp are hiding.
All 14 talismans. Okay, sure, why not? Not heading back there. Not now. But that's kind of the problem, in my opinion. It's, so much of the, like, gaming discussion these days is, kind of, held by rage bait.
I can let you into the little...
And it's a pretty big shame, because with so much, like, rage bait and random other bullshit, it's just so hard to handle. Oh, no. Well, guess we're going on an adventure. it's just so hard to have, like, an actual discussion with people. And I mean, you see it with everything. You can't talk about Pokemon anymore. You can't talk about anything anymore, especially if it's not like, you know, well, the thing is, right, it's one of those things where it depends on the fan base, right? Like, a lot of Pokemon fans aren't gonna be aren't susceptible to rage bait, because if you're susceptible to, like, rage bait about stuff like, oh, Pokemon is so bad, then you're probably not a Pokemon fan. And, like, if you are susceptible to that, then you probably aren't. And that's kind of the thing, isn't it? So often people are, like, obsessed with, this thing good, the other thing bad, but in reality it's like, no. But you can't do anything about it, and that's truly the aggravating part. If I could, I would definitely, like, you know, fix all internet discourse forever. But there's no point. It's not gonna happen. You're never gonna have, like, intelligent discussion done by more than, like, 1% of the internet's population. You're only ever going to have, like, a large majority of people who have no idea what they're talking about, and maybe a tiny fraction of people who actually, you know, talk about some stuff which they've enjoyed and like talking about, you know? The vast majority of people are always going to be stupid and wrong and stupid and wrong. And that's just the way it is. It's a shame, really, but, you know. Now, excuse me, but I saw an island over somewhere. How do we... You see it on the map too, don't you? So, can I... A chance, yeah. But how do I get to that wall? I bet you I have to go all the way around and it leads me up somehow. No, but there are gems here. Oh! Hold on a minute, I've seen these walls before in the castle. I think we have to go back in. But yeah, it is kind of interesting, I don't know. Maybe, you know, when we talk about Spyro, I feel like Spyro 1 is always going to be my favorite, purely because, well, obviously it was the first Spyro I played, but it's also, like, kind of simple, and I like that. You know, the modern ones are kind of heavy into characters and cutscenes in video games, and cutscenes and other video game mechanics and, like, mini games. But the original one is very sort of pure and direct in what it's trying to be, and I kind of just really like that in games. It doesn't, like, make you do stupid mini games. It doesn't force you to, And this is the wall. It doesn't force me to, you know, frustrate myself continuously with bad mechanics, like some of the minigames. It doesn't have a bunch of, like, you know, it doesn't have a bunch of pace-breaking, really slow dialogue and stuff. And in a vacuum, you know, it's not, most of these aren't really that major or important issues, but when you put it up, you know, when Spyro 1 doesn't have a lot of the small pace-breaking annoyances and Spyro 2 does, you understand how, it may cloud your judgment just the tiniest bit. Also, at one point I remember seeing somebody say, like, Spyro levels are designed in such a way where you can't see most of the level at once, and that's why, something PlayStation bad. But, as you can clearly see, the entire level is loaded. Also, I messed up by going down the wrong way. But yeah. It is kind of really cool what the Spyro devs did. But a part of me feels like, you know, there's, only... How to explain this? There's only so much one can learn by, just kind of analyzing what is there. You know, there's always an extra level of knowledge which you can gain by actually trying it out. It's sort of like, you know, the muscle memory of the thing. Like, for instance, just generally knowing what a system is capable of is probably gonna be like, you know, or just in general, like, you know, what a game can do. Because generally speaking, let's be real here, a lot of people don't have a clue about anything game dev related. People are gonna ask, you know, I've seen people claim that, like, you know, oh, the Sega Saturn was just not geared towards 3D platformers, you know, it just wasn't made for them. Like, buddy, it's a computer. Well, a game system, but, you know, it can do whatever it wants. It's not like a fucking car where it's like, oh, it's not made for off-roading. It's just a computer. I think this wasn't the best level to do first, but let's go in. What's happening in Zephyr? Oh. Oh. The Tronic. That's kind of brutal. What's the deal here? They have the breeze builders have got us pinned down and waiting for a volunteer to blow up their munitions building. Okay, well, I'm the man out for the job. Come on. There we go. Got one. These guys aren't fucking around. Ah, I remember these textures from that one previous level. I have to say, if there's one thing I kinda miss from the first game, it's that the levels were kinda more grounded in many ways, I guess. You know, it's... For fuck's sake, I'm gonna die here. And it is true, they were grounded in many more ways, but, you know, does that even make them better? And I can't say for sure. All I can say is that I kind of, you know, the new levels are definitely new, but they're just... You know, I guess their ideas are more specific. And in so many of these levels, you have, like, help, you know, in the normal, in Spyro 1, right? You are more like a sorta, I guess compare it to, like, 64 and Sunshine, right? In 64, I guess 64 is also taking a bit of that, yeah. Okay, sure, a little bit later. Like, you know, it's kind of like how in some games, you're just gonna kind of be like, oh wow, I am gonna have to, you know, perform the mission. I'm gonna go and I'm, you know, and in the other stuff, like in this game, it's all like, oh, hello there, Mario. Can you please, you know, I guess Spyro in this case, and you're just like, oh my god. It's like, oh, hello, could you please, help us? Oh my god. Can you please, help us with our problem? Hey Spyro, can you please help us? And then the previous one, it was just like, oh damn it, I should better, you know, get moving and save the dragons. And at some point, I wonder which one is better. Cause like, to be fair, to be completely fair, I feel like in a way, I prefer the way Spyro 1 did it purely because it was so more passive. And I guess maybe passive isn't the best descriptor for why I like something, but it's just like kind of more relaxed, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. And also, I think the contrast between the worlds, like, you know, you go from the first world, that's all, like, you know, happy and cheery, and then the second world is all, like, you know, the Peacekeeper one, and it's, like, you know, the sort of deserty one, where it's, like, you know, they have guns, and they have cannons, and it's, like, you know, pam, 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 ba, da, bam. And then you run into the third world, which is like, you know, the magic crafters. And it's all kind of wacky and goofy, and the enemies, and I think also, like, the fact there are enemies in the overworld, and not just in the levels. And they're always like, oh, wow, 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 and then they, fucking, you know, raise up and down walls and stuff. And then the fourth one is like the Beast Makers or whatever. I think that's what it's called. And you've got like, you know, just so many fucking random creatures and fog, and the levels have like a very specific spin to them. And then you go into the final-ish world, which is like, you know, the... I think that's, yeah, that's the Dream Weavers. And you're like in a castle in the clouds or whatever, and the levels kind of replicate that. And then, you know, finally, you know, you go to Nasty's world, and it's all very manufactured. There are Norks with guns and grenades. And then you go into, and like, fight Nasty Nork, and then finally get, like, Nasty's loot, you know? But in this one, it's all like... You know, oh, it's the kingdom. Look at what happens to a beautiful kingdom. There's a lot of parts to our kingdom. How about you go through the kingdom and save the kingdom? Talk to people to save the kingdom. The first one felt like, you know, Spyro on an adventure. And this one feels more like, you know, Spyro on his day job. Can I just blow him up? Oi! What if I... No, I have to raise... Pull it back to raise it up. Okay, there we go. Once more, when I play these games, I have criticisms that only I can possibly have. But that's because I am the one playing them. And you probably just watched, the fuck? I'll just leave it there. The fuck has happened? I think someone drove over the speed bump at a little bit too fast. Anyways, yeah, actually, speaking of, we're running out of time, so see you next time. I know it's maybe a little bit abrupt, but yeah. I have things to do. Bye-bye.